Okay, so let's call the meeting to order at 5:01 PM. We have Jacqueline who's present. We have Mr. Hall who is present. We have Mr. O'Neill who is present. We have Ms. White present. I'm not sure about Mr. Paradise. Mr. Gaffney is excused. Mr. Cote is going to have to be excused because they come with each other. Mr. Harmon should be here with our guest speaker, and I'm uncertain about Mr. Paradise. Does anyone know about?
They paid Harry.
Copy.
Parking lot back there.
So, running a little bit out of order, but we called the meeting to order at 5:01. We did our attendance, and would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, we already are.
We are. Would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure, I
Joe?
do that.
The flag is right directly in front of us.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So as we mentioned and as we sent out in the agenda, we were supposed to have a guest speaker from the Disabled American Veterans, courtesy of our Veterans Commission member, Mr. Harmon. I'm not sure where they're at. Perhaps they just got caught up in another meeting or perhaps in traffic. So if they do show up, then we can pause and listen to their presentation. We can review, discuss, and approve the 11 December 2024 meeting minutes. Do you have those? Do you want me to read them? Well, we can at least read them, and then, hello, welcome. We have. Do we know if the guest speaker is still coming?
I hope so. I think he was under the impression that I was, the meeting started at 6.
Okay, that's fine. You're welcome to come on over here. You're part of the team.
We should be here shortly.
Copy. So, just to go over the minutes from last time, now we do have, actually, we have a quorum, so that's awesome. Let me mark that down. Thank you, Mr. Harmon. And I apologize, Mr. Hall and Mr. Harmon. I always conflate your names. So, meeting of December 11th, 2024, Mr. Hall took minutes on behalf of Mr. Wedge, who was unavailable. We held the meeting here at Lowell Media Center. The meeting opened at 5:05 p.m. The roll call was Walter O'Neill, Richard Cote, James Harmon, Jacqueline Coles, James J. Gaffney by phone, and Mr. Adam Mitchell, who I believe was a DAV representative, was also present. Attendees recited the Pledge of Allegiance. The group received the LVC accomplishment of 2024 since reinvigorating the formal meetings in September of 2022. The chair noted that several meetings occurred and guests made presentations, including but not limited to parking director, our representative Elliott, and Mr. Gaffney's brother, Judge Gaffney. Mr. Harmon introduced himself as a new member. Mr. Mitchell spoke and indicated that he had filled out the paperwork to become a commissioner again. Commissioners, ourselves, we discussed a potential attendance policy. Mr. Gaffney stated that he was in favor of a policy, but action should not happen until the policy was in place. A discussion ensued by commissioners, and the chair stated that we would draft a proposal for the commission's consideration after seeking whether a policy is already in place with the city or state, and it was discussed whether the commission would adopt a policy or if there was a controlling city policy. A discussion ensued about the need to validate the terms of members. A discussion occurred about a city Lowell Veterans Card that offers Lowell store discounts and investigating why some businesses have ceased recognizing the card. One of our commissioners agreed to looking into it, and another commissioner reiterated that the VSO had reported the Veterans Card machine being broken for some time, which impacted the program. A discussion ensued about Memorial Day activities. It was discussed that a potential activity could be after Memorial Day. One of our commissioners and another had walked the grounds of the potential activity site. One of our commissioners asked how donations would be held as such a barrier, as it was such a barrier in the past. We also talked about the need to set up a way to hold funds and review them at a future meeting. We discussed civic outreach. Members discussed how to expand and address it going forward. A survey of veterans was discussed. Obtaining a list of veterans was thought to be a good next step. We assigned the task of coordinating with the city to obtain such a list if possible, and we discussed what would go into the survey. We spoke about the Veterans of the Month program. We stated that it would need to be discussed and approved at this next meeting. A discussion was about remote participation and whether it would be appropriate for commission meetings. We expressed support, but we said that it would be difficult for some to travel, and we would have to look into hosting a virtual meeting. The meeting adjourned at around 5:53 p.m. These meeting minutes, as I'm going through them, we just need to do a couple of grammatical and spelling errors, but I would like to know, based on those minutes, would someone like to make a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, passes. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Hall, for taking the minutes. All right.
I'll do that again or someone else.
I'm taking minutes. So we just reviewed and discussed the 11 minutes. Review the open meeting minutes law, review open meeting law requirements, validation of posting of the agendas and the meeting minutes. Mr. Hall, you mentioned before that there have been organizations. There have been organizations within the city that may not have complied, and we want to ensure that we are in compliance with posting our meetings before with the agenda and posting the meetings in a timely manner afterwards. I believe that I did look up and sent out to everyone the open meeting law information. So if you would like to make a comment, please do.
So the current city procedure is to have the meeting, or the law requires 48 hours of public posting on the, in the mannerism that the city sanctions. So that is on Agenda Center for the city. So that's what we should.
So from what I saw is that it just needs to be posted on that bulletin board outside, and that's what the current assistant city manager is doing when we send her the agenda.
I don't want to go into detail, but that's been deemed, in real opinion,
Not appropriate?
to not be sufficient.
What is sufficient then from your understanding?
Putting it up on the Agenda Center. So if you Google Lowell City Agenda, it brings up all the commissions and boards in the city, including the school committee and city council. And in the procedure generally is to send that into the clerk to do it, but sometimes they require the commissions and boards to upload into center. So we got to clarify with them if they want us to do that or if they'll do it for us. I tried to call them at 3 to get some clarity on that, but I wasn't able.
Copy. So getting through to folks, I have definitely sent emails, and I think that everyone in here was on those emails. I have not received a definitive response, and this is probably my third time emailing to trying to seek clarification. So at this time, I'm going to say to the city and to those who are looking online, if we are not in compliance, it's not because we haven't tried to be, it's because we are not able to receive clarification on the proper way to post meetings. But we will attempt to comply with what Mr. Hall is saying by looking at this Lowell City Agenda Center. And Mr. LaMarche, this also goes in line with the websites that I sent out asking who updates these and if the chair can get access to update these sites so that we are absolutely 100% in compliance.
I do know, you jogged my memory, that the last email was sent out about there was some people that weren't supposed to be on there, or spellings or terms. I know somebody made adjustments. I don't know when the last time you went and looked on there, but I know they did make some adjustments. But if you send me whatever needs to be fixed, I'll make sure I'll send it to the right person.
Okay, so
what I suspect they're going to have happen is have someone with the city of Lowell email upload the agenda into the site. That's how the school department has.
So I'll make sure that's sorted out. You already have the email with all the websites and the latest information. It's in a very long email that I sent out to folks, and I have it here as well, so we can discuss it here.
Right, somebody from Health Department did respond. I don't know if they only responded to me,
They must have.
but she had made adjustments. So if you want to look at some point, doesn't have to be now, but
Oh, if it was Miss Silk, excuse me, Miss Silk did make some updates. She made them before, and then she made them, she reviewed it this time, but there were two websites that had veterans information on it, Veterans Council Commission information. One said acting, one had us as bona fide. She updated it to remove the acting. I still want to know, outside of her, if the chair or any of us can have access to those sites. And then when it comes to the posting, there were 1 or 2 or 3 different websites where our agendas and our meeting minutes were posted, but nothing has been posted for, let's just say, to be generous, more than 6 months. Okay. So I will make sure that we get an answer to that, hopefully by next meeting, if not. And if the city is listening, or if anyone living in the city has an answer to that and would like to assist, we would sincerely appreciate your participation. Okay, so goals for 2025. Do we, of course, Memorial Day is a goal that we have for 2025. Do we have anything else that we would like to take on outside of the action items that we have already slated for 2025?
I mean, if we're doing Memorial Day, maybe we could look at doing like a Veterans Day parade or something along those lines.
Okay, what else?
Are we completed with the parking program for veterans? That's something that
As far as I understand, we are complete with Mr. Terry Ryan. I think that there was a discrepancy with how to obtain the veterans license plates, but that's outside of us, that's with the state.
Because it's just on the license plate, right? If you have a veteran, you have to go to the kiosk too. Like just rely on your plate.
So if you have the plate, they're going to give you the 2-hour parking automatically. You shouldn't
No
have to go.
kiosk?
Yes, you shouldn't have to go, but they will mark you. So if you expired your time,
Yeah.
you need to move and return.
But if you didn't have a plate, then you have to go to the.
Correct. Correct. All right, well, 2 things is good. Memorial Day 2025, and let's say a Veterans Day something for 2025. I did have a question, and I think this one is for you, Mr. Lamarche. Veterans Assembly Hall history. There was a website on Veterans Assembly Hall history. Is anyone familiar with that? Okay.
is that in the auditorium? Is that the hall? And that's what I'm guessing, is the auditorium, the front part. That might be what they're calling the Veterans Assembly Hall, where all the flags are at, the Hall of Flags. Other than that, I'm not aware of another hall.
I looked it up and it says that it's a podcast. It's hosted at Great Lowell.
I don't think that's what I looked at.
Veterans Assembly Hall podcast.
Okay, that sounds good, too. And so no one does that either?
I never heard of it until now.
Okay. All right. Would you mind looking into that and seeing if it's still,
I mean, Scott Hyder has Hidden Battles Radio, and I believe he still does a podcast.
what did you call, what was this podcast called, though?
This is the Veterans Assembly Hall podcast, and this one's out a little, but the one that Mr. Lamarche is talking about, that's a more current one, and they're active, and they go on every Monday night live.
Copy. So I'm going to put that as you for an action item to look into that and let us know if it's active or if it's not. And
Our chapter commander is actually friends with the Hidden Battles, Mr. Hyder. So if we need to get in touch with him, I can reach out to my chapter
we're not trying to
commander.
get in contact with the Hidden Battles podcast. We're trying to figure out what this one
Oh,
is.
Sorry, I
And,
misunderstood.
no, that's fine. And just determine what this one is, and then either try and re-emerge it or know what it is and then know that it's defunct and leave it at that. What about a veteran's gravestone marker program? Does anybody know what that is about? I was,
I thought that was through the VA.
Are we talking about adopt a veteran?
no, it says a veteran's gravestone marker program, and it might be, but I didn't know if the Lowell Commission in the past has had any interaction with this
I
marker
know the VA
program?
does headstones for veterans, because that's one of the things that falls under my purview as a department service officer, is filling out, like, a veteran passes away, family is looking to get the VA to cover a headstone, possibly burial. We can help them get that paperwork put through to get either reimbursed or have the VA cover the entire cost.
Do you mind looking at, I'll send this to you, but do you mind looking into this directly to see if the Lowell Veterans Commission ever had, or maybe we should have some type of interaction, coordination with them?
Yeah, I can look into that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's appointments that are expiring in early 2025, and I sent an email out to everyone who has an expiring appointment. Mine expires in February of 2025. Mr. Lamarche, you did send out the application form, but that application form was, the website was an error. I don't know where to go to ensure that we all have the proper application, or if you have it, I sent you an email as well saying, hey, can you forward me the application that you just recently sent out, so we have the latest one, so all of us can have it that
I
are
got that
expiring?
from, I actually did it pen and paper through City Hall.
Yeah, I'm not sure you actually need the application to get reappointed. I might be able to, contact the manager's office and just say, these are the people that need to be, can you please
So I'll create a memorandum for you, for your signature, that you can then send forward, because we already have some folks who are expired.
Anybody that wants to be, that's always been lagging, is just keeping up with that. But if we can come up with just a list of people that want to stay on, then we'll take care of that.
Okay, so I'll get that letter to you. I'm just going to ask. I'm going to ask this every single time I send emails out. Please, sometimes you do this, Mr. O'Neill, so I appreciate it. Say received, understood, or answer whatever, please, it is that I'm asking, so that I don't have to wait till I get here or be frustrated that folks didn't respond, or I think you didn't receive it. I'll get to Memorial Day afterwards. Let's get to the Boston Fleet. I sent an email out. Miss Upton and the Boston Fleet Women's Hockey are hosting a Community Heroes Night on 22 January 2025 at the Songus Arena. They're asking for any public servants to host a table, to attend. She's giving out free tickets. I've put her in contact with the fire department, the police department, the ambulance department, I think one of the school department members, and asked them to then flower out and provide her with more public officials, Lowell Community Health Center, so that if they want to attend and host a table, they can, and obtain free tickets. She is offering this commission free tickets, but the tickets have to be used if we are going to accept them, and I believe that they are online virtual tickets. If anyone is interested, then please let me know, but you must use the ticket on the night of the game. You can't take it and not attend. That's her only caveat.
The DAV is actually tabling that event, and we're planning on we're trying to get some of our members to show up. I know that myself, Mr. Araby, our chapter commander, and Mr. Mitchell will be attending as, I guess you could say like a vendor
Copy.
to table the event. And like I said, we're trying to we've put it out to our members to see who wants to attend, and we're just basically waiting to hear back from people.
Thank you. We're Lowell Veterans Commission. What are you doing to support us?
We're trying. I was hoping Adam would be here tonight.
Yeah, but don't forget that you're also a member of us. We need you to support us as well. I know that Ms. White, she emailed me back and said, hey, I'd love to support, so we are going to host a table. Ms. Upton said she's giving tables, tablecloths. I'm going to work with Mr. Lamarche. Hopefully we can get a retractable and just some cards so that we can hand out on behalf of the Lowell Veterans Commission. I'm going to create us a group account, because I don't believe that we should be emailing out our personal emails and having people personally email us, and we can all have the username and password to that so we can gain access. Does anyone have any issue with that? Do you know of any city policies that go against us doing that?
Generally, it should be handled through a city account, so it can be preserved based on the public record.
So have you ever attempted to, or have you ever attempted to get a Lowell Veterans Commission group email?
We have to go through IT for that?
I would say we need to talk to Moran Fernandez in MIS, see if we can get something like that set up.
Isn't that British intelligence?
No, British intelligence is MI6.
MI6, okay. All right.
James Bond and all
Thank you.
that fun stuff.
All right, so Veterans Commission and DAV will table the Jumbotron message. She says that she's going to put a message up there on the Jumbotron for us and announce us. I just need to know, I can send out an email on what I recommend us, the message to be. I don't want to brainstorm in real time here. I just ask that you please email back and let me know that you do or do not concur, and silence will be concurrence, unless you have something that you would like to offer today.
Is it just gonna, so I guess I have a follow-up question, and would it be like a slogan that basically it's gonna go across the Jumbotron and just say, Lowell Veterans Commission, welcome to, or, you know, or I guess, what information are we gonna give about ourselves?
Something to that effect.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you have a recommendation of what we should put up there, definitely our organization, we don't have a group email yet. When we meet, what our mission is, I don't think we can put too much up there, but yeah.
Like generalized information, like when we meet, where we meet.
But if
that
you
kind
have
of
a
stuff.
recommendation when I send it out, just email me back. Email me back. So does anyone here want tickets? All right, cool. And I already mentioned that I'm going to get with you on the retractable and the cards and this Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Maybe there's a reimbursement activity that can occur if I don't have time to go through the city because of how long that may take.
That's probably possible.
I'm going to go on faith and go ahead and do that, and then I'll just take it out of your personal funds, sir. All right, so the Lowell Veteran Recognition Program, Mr. Gaffney couldn't make it tonight, but he did provide, I think to all of us, his recommendations for the Veterans Recognition Program.
Mr. Hall is the founder.
Did I say Hall or Gaffney?
Gaffney, but Mr. Hall, I think, created it, so I don't know if you had any.
Do we want to table it till Mr. Gaffney's available, or you want to talk?
I want to talk about it now. I can read what Mr. Gaffney wrote. I'll read it. The Lowell Veterans Commission Veteran of the Month Award. The City of Lowell Veterans Commission has a mission of advocating for and honoring veterans. In support of this mission, the commission has established the Walter F. Bayless Jr. Veteran of the Month Award to honor the city's outstanding veterans. For over 5 years, maybe more now, City of Lowell Veterans Commission has nominated veterans whose services to the country and contribution to the City of Lowell deserve recognition as Veteran of the Month. The award is presented by the mayor or someone else to the person. Since its establishment, this award has been recognized by many outstanding veterans. Do you know of or belong to a group whose membership includes a veteran who deserves to be recognized as a Veteran of the Month? And then he has an address on here. The conversation that we had last time and what I believe that we need to talk about today is, and possibly even move on and move forward on, is how often do we want to do this? Because I think that my experience, and my experience from past organizations, not necessarily this one, but just based on our participation at present, I think that monthly is too much. I think quarterly is much more doable. How we need the criteria on how we're going to choose this human, and we need to determine how we're going to advertise and solicit for this human, and then who, where, and how we're going to present the human with this recognition. I can say that after talking to the city manager, he was definitely interested in presenting one of these recognition veteran activities at our Memorial Day activity. But with all of that information, the floor is open for discussion.
In the past, in the mayor's reception room on a Tuesday night, prior to the city council meeting, the mayor this has just been in the past, the mayor has presented a citation to the veteran. The family would be invited in the reception, mayor's reception room, and then they'd read it again at the opening of the city council meeting, so they got recognized
Who
throughout the
created
city.
the citation? You?
The mayor.
mayor.
The family or the awardee or somebody nominating the person, the veteran, would come up with a biography of some sort, and then the mayor would create the citation from that.
Okay, thank you.
Is it possible for us to, I mean, I agree with it, a quarterly event may be better, but can we say we would present 4 to 12 such awards per year that will be held on at least a quarterly basis? Because it seemed to work better when we had 1 or 2 or 3 veterans and their families there. There was like a food or a hors spread, and if you just had one family member, you don't always know how many guests they're going to have, and it might be better if we had a larger group.
I like that, but are you saying 4 to 12 each quarter?
No, per year, so we
Okay.
have flexibility. You might have 3 in June, then maybe you might not have another until November. You know,
I like that.
how fast you are, give us more flexibility. So what happened before is we generally didn't do it every month. We were presenting like maybe June and July and July. But I think if we don't say veteran of the month, we can just say veteran of the quarter or veteran of the quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
And for the spread, I typically do order all that. I'll pick up water or coffee or depending on how many people we expect. It could be Olympos Bakery bringing some food, some snacks or whatever, but we try to make it as respectable as possible.
We're hungry too after these meetings, just so you know.
Almost, yeah, every time, there's, almost no one's eaten any of it. And whoever cleans it up in City Hall loves us.
That's awesome.
So if there's any left, it doesn't go to waste.
Do you happen to have an example that you could send us of an old citation, or do you have an old citation, just as an example?
Erastus, in the mayor's office, I'm pretty sure they keep all that. He could probably send you out a bunch of samples.
Okay, so what I have so far is we need to choose the name. The mayor creates the citation based on a bio. You can order, the VSO has money to order food. We'll do 4 to 12 on a quarterly basis. 4 to 12 on a quarterly basis, but that's 4 to 12 per year on a quarterly basis. What do we have from this side of the room?
I think it's just being able to identify individuals. I think in the past, that was the hardest thing, was figuring out an individual to be able to nominate, and then from there, being able to recognize them. So the biggest thing is just being able to have the people lined up and then making sure that everyone is there in time and in place.
Was it that we didn't provide the applications, or we didn't market it well, or what do you think it was?
I don't think it was more about marketing, it's just that not a lot of veterans alone choose to show their face, and so it's a matter of finding veterans that are in Lowell and getting them to come out. That's the thing, there's a whole bunch of veterans in Lowell, but everyone just kind of stays in their little bubble, and so it's being able to identify people and getting them to come out.
And
Do
there's
you
never
happen to
really been,
have-
there's never really been an application either.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So how did we do this?
The
Nomination.
members would nominate.
Yeah, word of mouth, just people knew within the commission, and then those people would nominate those
It
individuals.
would probably be best to have like a nomination subcommittee that nominates.
You want us to have a subcommittee?
We should have a group that basically looks through these and proposes to the body that these.
We are the group. I hear you. We are the group.
I know.
We,
We have to get, basically,
like, we can't be any more sub
We
than
need
we
to-
are.
That's for procedural purposes.
we need to get the nominees, figure out how we're gonna do that, then we, as a group, have to evaluate the nominees, make the selections, and then present the awards. It seems like the obtaining of nominees is the hardest part for us, because if, as the body that's selecting the recipients, if we don't have nominees, we don't have anybody to select.
Right, we all agree. You were in
So
agreement.
I think it's more, we need to focus on how do we get the nominees? Like, do we advertise in the Lowell Sun, on Facebook, whatever, to, like, basically
that's our
reach out to
role.
people's families and stuff?
I bet you if you reached out to some of the local schools, a lot of these students are very proud of their teachers that are veterans, and one of the students that could be a thing for the couple of the students or a couple of schools.
Yeah, I mean, however, we just need to get it out there, and then whoever decides, like, within the community, they can nominate whoever they want. We just need to get the word out that we're looking for nominees.
So I understand that we're saying that, but I literally need someone to take on different roles. And I know that we already have the action item of working with Lowell Telecommunications to create informationals, and this is one of the pieces of the informationals that we can do. But if we can assign, after we determine this is the way we're going to go, someone to contact the Lowell Sun on behalf of this, make sure that it gets in there. Contact the online, I don't know, is it Wicked Local or whomever else there is, use the Facebook page, put all of those things out there, then we'll make those assignments afterwards. But I'll make sure when we come to the next meeting that we have the name, that we have an example of a citation that will document, of course, once again, that VSO orders food. We'll have an application, we'll have grading criteria, and we can also do word of mouth, but word of mouth will still have to fill out an application, because that application will then go into the bio, which goes into the citation if they're chosen. So I think we have that down, and we can vote on that at the next meeting once you all check your email and agree and look, and then we just vote at the next meeting.
So one of the reasons why I think the subcommittee is particularly important is because you want to come forward with the subcommittee's recommendations. We don't want to be picking one.
Are you willing to be on the subcommittee?
Thinking of one veteran over another veteran in public, so that's why we have them presented, and then,
I don't think we have to do it in public, just like some of the conversations about Memorial Day activities. Once we get done with the formal part of this, we can stay after and have a conversation. I think we can do that offline as well. I'm going to tell you, just based on the scarce population that we have of this team already, I'm worried about a subcommittee.
Subcommittee of one.
So the way it was working before is that we were channeling all recommendations to one person who was then organizing them in an orderly fashion to go one per month going forward. So we had momentum for maybe 2 or 3 years.
When was the last time we did this?
2 years ago. Was it Colonel?
22 or 23?
Cliff Krieger, was it him?
Yeah.
22 or
3
23?
years ago?
Probably.
Probably about
We
3
started
years.
in the maze.
Okay,
We started some little cupcakes and cookies. His family was there. It was nice.
all right, so I'll make sure to have something for that for the next meeting, and we'll talk about a subcommittee.
I mean, I know just working with Officer Paradise that there's about 1,200, not 1,200, there's a large population of nominees in the city that wear the Lowell police uniform. Same with the fire department.
Right, as she was saying, there's not a lack of, there's just
We
a lack
just
of
need to
people
get
coming
them.
forward. Correct.
So when we first started, we did en masse ones, so we brought in all the veterans of the month, the police officers, the firefighters, and then the teachers, and it was like a collective award for them, because I think most of the police officers probably would want to come in one by one and do that, or the firefighters.
Honestly, I think that would be a great way to get it, like, get the word back out there, is to do it that way. Do a couple in mass, like police department, fire department, teachers, EMS, whatever we decide, and then just to let the people know that we're doing it again, and then we could roll out, this is how you go about nominating someone, here's the application, here's who to send it to, that sort
I'll
of
lean on
thing.
you for that as we get this going.
I've already got 2 contacts, so we'll try and yank those strings and see what falls
I
out.
hope you can read my mind more than just contacts. All right, copy. Next conversation is, this location that we're in today is our permanent location. The city of Lowell did approve this. I think I sent you all the email saying that this is our permanent location going forward. We like this location. Virtual participation status, so right now, we do not have Zoom. Right now, we are not dialing folks in. Honestly, I would prefer for humans to be here because it allows this kind of dialogue, which would not allow the same if you're on a Zoom. Plus, if we need to have follow-on conversations afterwards or beforehand, we can have that. But under extenuating circumstances, and as we have this a little bit as we continue these meetings a bit more, I think we may move ourselves into extenuating circumstances where virtual means is available. Comments?
I like that, the option zone, just in, sometimes you can't make it or if it's sick or the bad weather. I particularly don't like driving down here at night.
Okay.
You know, in the winter.
It's getting lighter now.
I know.
It's getting
It's
lighter.
like coming down here at 4:30, we're not going home.
Okay. So we'll look into that for the future.
It's a nice option, I think.
Copy. Let's go into the open action items from last meeting, if I have them open. Actually, before that, let me share one more time what I covered with the city. We talked about new members, and we talked about the best means to work together to ensure we're aware of new members pending applications for the Lowell Veterans Commission. So, Mr. LaMarche, we're going to look for you, for anyone who comes through, this gentleman here or this gentleman's friend that came last time. If a application crosses your desk, send me an email so that we know that they're in queue or they're coming, because I believe that you met your city council months before you even were able to attend the meeting. And I just happened to meet you randomly to know that you were part of this commission.
I've never actually met the city council.
Oh, they didn't, typically that's what happens, right? They introduce you as a,
Yeah, I never got that. I just literally dropped off my application, then I got an email saying that I was good to go, so I just went down to the city hall, took the oath in the clerk's office, and then did the conflict of interest training, and then
So we'll look to you,
Attended my
Mr.
first
LaMarche, to
meeting.
make sure that this process is more rigorous, and whatever the traditional process is, if it is the applicant going in front of city council for the first time, then let's make sure that that occurs. If it's a reapplication where we're going to do the memo, then outstanding, we can just keep it moving.
sure.
The websites were the Veterans Commission website, that's what I sent. And I was saying that we appreciate Ms. Silk updating the website for us, yet who's responsible? Who is the responsible party to update this page? Is the Lowell Veterans Chair able to gain access to this website? I don't have a response to that, so if you can get us a response, that would be awesome, if I could have access to that as well, in addition to yourself, and any updates I'll definitely send you.
Website.
Yeah, we're not looking for an offsite website, just the one that shows, I think it's on the Lowell Veterans Commission and then on the Veteran Services Officer website. Those two sites where we're listed, I want to make sure that those stay up to date, then where our meeting minutes are stored. In addition to what you just mentioned, the Lowell City Agenda Center, there's other sites where we're listed that has our agenda and our minutes, but they're definitely not complete. Either take them down and only have one repository, or update those two sites. I just don't want, I want us to be as compliant as we possibly can. We're new, we're not paid, but we still want to be compliant.
So one of the benefits of that whole city agenda site is only to, this is the public. Words to it, and we would discuss something.
For our meetings? Our meetings are posted. Oh, okay, I'm not sure about that. We talked about Mr. Harmon. Appointment postings. So, there was an error in my appointment posting where my entire resume was posted, but that was corrected and redacted. Some people's appointment letters are posted, some people's appointment letters are not posted on the City of Lowell website. If you all could please send me a copy of your appointment letter so that we can get our Excel spreadsheet repository of when you were appointed and then show when your appointment commission date expires, that would be great. And plus, we would also have the history of the document from the city manager in our files as well. Everyone has theirs, right?
I think the HR might have that.
Can you get that from HR?
I can attempt to.
Who's HR?
HR is, oh, I was just going to say Mary Catherine. It's not her anymore. I don't know the gentleman's name off the top of my, but if that's in the minutes, just highlight me. just let me know and I'll reach out, because there's a lot of things that I need to look into. But I'm going away till Wednesday, so. Weather permitting.
Okay, so, yeah, where's the repository for all of the appointment letters? We need that, but I'll have that in my own repository, so whoever takes this over, they will have as organized a chair position as they can possibly have. We discussed the open meeting laws. Okay, so the Lowell Veterans Commission contact information on the website is your office. Do you know if anybody calls and leaves messages for us? I doubt that they do right now, but if they do, you would let us know, because they're calling your office number.
Correct, nobody's called to this point. I did, I don't know what the new rules are, but at one point, you had to be a Lowell resident to be on the commission.
Oh, no, I meant if anybody's calling looking for us for whatever reason.
Right, I was just saying, somebody had called, wanted to be a member, and I said, and this person was a Chelmsford resident, and I had turned them away because I wasn't sure that things changed, but apparently they have.
I don't know, I'd like to see what.
I haven't seen it authorized, but I do know we have members that aren't from, well, not from, that aren't living in Lowell. So, I mean, I don't, I just do what I'm told. So if we can have more members that way, I won't turn anybody away.
I want active members, active members. I say I want, I apologize. It's not what I want, it's what the commission wants, and the commission wants
What you want
active
is what we
members.
need.
Active members seek city resident status requirement.
It seems like a good idea, because if these other surrounding towns don't have a Veterans Commission, but the people want to participate, why not have them participate with us?
So let's go into the action items. Members have, we talked about people being absent, we talked about looking at an attendance policy. I contacted the open meeting law, I contacted the state, and there is not currently a policy on being absent from meetings or participation, having an active role in meetings, and effective and timely communication. At present, I could not find at the state, and no one could respond to me saying that there are those things. So what we said is we were going to create our own policies for those activities. So if no one else wants to take that on, then of course I'll take it on. Would anybody like to take that on? I don't think that we had decided how we're going to do it. I think we just need to put together a plan on, if you don't attend with no excuse a certain number of meetings, you're not showing any active participation in this, you're not responding to emails, why are you still on our books? You know, that type of situation. We need to make a recommendation to the appointing official saying, this person doesn't seem to want to participate, we've reached out, we've done X, Y, and
I would
Z.
say that there's no legal requirement to respond, because if you have a group of people that are exchanging ideas on email, that potentially could trigger open never require email responses.
What about participation and at the meetings?
I think you could have guiding principles that we all agree to, like you could say, well, relay to the manager the attendance, but when we file the minutes, it's on record on who, anyway.
Absolutely.
That's the issue.
Okay, so I will still create something, we can get it through the city solicitor, and we can have a conversation amongst the team on how we want to proceed. It could all be for naught, but I can guarantee that whatever's created, we can use in different organizations in some capacity, fashion, or form. But I do believe that there needs to be something for folks who are part of this commission, but have not participated, are not attending, et cetera. We don't just need folks to say that they're on the commission to be on the commission, but they're not contributing members. That could be a seat that's potentially open for someone else. However, that has to happen in a legal city capacity, et cetera. But that, from my experience on my few time here, has been a challenge. So validate each person's term beginning and end date. We already talked about that. Mr. Hall, you were appointed as the POC to do that. Do you have an update?
We looked at Mr. Lamarche and I had a discussion. I don't have any new information other than what was published in the last meeting, and like you discussed, that the several of us have terms ending in February.
Copy. Mr. Cote and Mr. O'Neill, you were going to talk to Mr. Lamarche about the Lowell Veterans Card and find out how we can reinstitute that and how we can get the cards working again and how we can get businesses in Lowell to reinvigorate their participation.
I spoke to Eric last week, and the machine disappeared from his grasp, and some of the stores have closed down that were involved with it, and he stated that he used it was a tool for him to get people to come into his office and generate, veterans awareness and stuff like that, and so it seemed like it kind of just faded away.
So how can we get it back?
I have spoken to one of the employees in the MIS to try to recover the issue. I have the machine, I have all the printing material, I have the cards, I have everything. I just need my program back.
Like the software program?
The actual software is gone.
Do you know how to get it? Who to get it from?
That's why I reached out to MIS. They took my they took the hard drive that it was on, and everything disappeared. And they're trying to recover it, but
Was
with
this during the hack?
yes, the great hacking.
The great hack of whatever year that was.
So I have reached out, been a process. I haven't had it over a year.
Is there a way that we can not use that software and go to a different piece of equipment, something that may be newer, something that may be fresher, something that may be more technologically advanced?
I suppose there are other programs that we could probably purchase. Money is tight, so I'd have to, maybe we could research to see if there are other programs for that purpose.
Put that with you, Mr. Cote and Mr. O'Neill.
And was it worth it, do you think, or were there scores or?
Well, we did have a lot of people coming in. Like I had told you before, it actually benefited my office and the veteran coming in more than the actual card itself. Just through the years, I remember people coming in saying, I don't have a veteran ID card. A VA card is very difficult to get if you're not service connected or indigent. So I knew the senior center had their ID cards for people for their helpers. So that's where I got that idea from. People would come in, I would interview them, and I would say, you're eligible for financial assistance. Do you know you could probably get a VA compensation?
Great infomercial, I love it.
So, but it was a good way to get people in the office and say, there are things you're missing out on. Some people didn't want to hear it, they didn't want to be tired. A lot of people I was able to help. I had a list of veterans with their email address.
So you guys will at least look into what is the realm of possible for a replacement system, get us a cost or something to that effect, at least for next meeting. I'm sure Amazon delivers. Deliver everything. All right, awesome. I'm going to skip, I'm going to do the Lowell activities last. So myself and you, Mr. Harmon, we are doing public information. We need to have the conversation with Mr. LTC, I just forgot his last name. We need to have a conversation with LTC on informationals and publicizing our activities in our room.
I know I've gotten, through doing claims with the VA, I got contacted that the Counselor of Public Access who's interested in it as well. So we can figure out like one general template that works.
Let's focus on Lowell first. We're the Lowell Veterans Commission. I'm going to reel you back into Lowell.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And this Veterans Commission.
I'm going in like 50 different directions, trying to make sure I help everybody.
LTC has been very very good with helping. I have I have a little spot that should still be on there, just telling people, are you a veteran? You know, you read the screen, my ugly mug is on the Lowell television, but perhaps the Veterans Commission could also have a spot, but it plays in between all the commercials and whatnot.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll work on that for next meeting. We'll have fun.
My counterpart, Mr. Mitchell, told me that the city website is actually wrong, and it's supposed to be 6. That's why he's
So, Mr. Hall, you were going to research and report to the commission needs for local veterans by working with the VSO.
Sure, we had a teleconference on that and discussed if we could get a list of veterans, which I think Eric and I were going to recommend that we don't want to assemble an email list but instead produce a survey and put it up on our website, which people could click on and provide information voluntarily. We also discussed whether or not we would do a public records request to try to get addresses, and we both didn't seem to think that was a good idea. We also discussed that card too, sir.
So what are we going to move forward with then?
We think that a survey would be appropriate, but on the website, it should be posted where someone could click on it and voluntarily identify themselves.
On the VSO website? Or
It'll be there, or
both?
both, or, I mean, I've tried to get social media before, but
Yeah, he just said that was
Yeah.
terrible. But I don't mind putting it on the website. Can you, the two of you, come up with something, or can you on your own come up with recommended questions for the survey for next meeting?
Sure, we started talking about that, and maybe the vehicle of using survey might be to gather interest.
Well, not necessarily the platform, but the questions that will be asked.
yeah.
Okay.
like, are you a veteran family member?
you consent
Correct.
to us using your
Correct.
email address.
Yeah.
Correct. So if you can just have that for next time, that'd be awesome. So unfortunately, our DAV thought we were going to meet at 6. We talked about the location change. We talked about the Veterans Recognition Program. We already talked about blankets donation. Last time we talked about the virtual option. Okay, so that's all of our action items so far. Now, when it comes to the Memorial Day activity, I did have a conversation with Mr. Roche and city manager, and the location was recommended to be altered to, stand by, let me get my notes. Another location. So, Street or Market Street and Middlesex Street, because the city manager has more access to that location. Love the date after the Memorial Day, since everybody's doing their own thing. We can possibly look into using Enterprise Bank for the bouncy houses, face painting, et cetera. We should work with the Cultural Affairs Office. Potentially, we could have classic cars at this event, because there's a lot of classic cars organizations, or we could wait for that until next year when they're doing the 200th anniversary for the city. That may make more sense. They do agree with our memorial service. We are likely going to have 200th anniversary in 2026. We're likely going to begin having weekly meetings at some point, probably February, March, April. But by the end of this month, we need to get a budget to provide to the city manager so he can determine how much money he does or doesn't have to give us. And then after I present him with that budget at our February meeting, he is going to attend this meeting, maybe on camera, maybe off camera, just to, number one, thank us for a job well done, 2, encourage us for active participation, and 3, to possibly discuss any more Memorial Day activities and maybe approve the budget that we're going to submit. We're going to add a lot of risk. And there was also the potential that the Veterans Banner Program could be presented at this Memorial Day activity versus maybe whenever you normally do it, which I don't recall when that is.
typically on Memorial Day weekend. So when they take them, the whole idea on my behalf was I wanted to have it in front of the police station where the banners are. So when they take them down, they can just put them up and invite the families that were already there when they were up, so we can give them to the families. I was trying to draw a crowd, bring them there for our
Do you want to do that in conjunction with the flag raising for Memorial Day, or are you doing the flag raising separate from the memorial commemoration?
the banner. I had included that into the banner.
The flag raising with the banner? That would be a separate activity, separate day from the Memorial Day festivities we're talking about.
Right. I'm not sure if I'm still going to. I was doing my own Memorial Day service. I don't know if this is just going to be included into the one that the commission's doing,
Well,
or.
we support you, we're here to assist you, so we definitely have that conversation moving forward.
Well,
Should be
Makes
the
sense to
same.
include it.
Should be
less,
the same.
less is more. I mean, if we, instead of having multiple ceremonies, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have it all included.
Why
in
don't
one.
why don't we just have it all in Arcan Drive and block Arcan Drive up like they did the Winterfest? You don't have to worry about Middle Street, Palmer
He was
Street.
mentioning that that's the easiest for him to have control
Yeah.
authority over. which is the
Bouncy
middle
house, you could
farm
have all
market
that
in
right there in
Middlesex.
Arcan Drive. It's a Saturday afternoon. Because the stadium's out.
I can ask about Arcan Drive, I'm just telling you the recommendations that he provided,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
basically a, hey,
Yeah, but I mean, if it's gonna be in front of the flag, it's gonna be right there. Everybody be in one spot instead of have it Palmer Street or.
well, it doesn't necessarily, we'll talk about it, I'm writing it down, Arcan Drive.
They block it off for the Ice Fest or whatever it's called, Winterfest.
Yeah, and if it's only for a short
Couple
period of
hours.
time.
I don't think you need to
one
block it
day.
off though for
No, Palmer,
your,
it's not a busy street.
I don't think you need to block it off for your banner raising, all of that can be done on the premises of the City Hall Plaza. There should be no,
With the
Nothing
bouncy
in the
house and
street,
everything
right?
else.
Yeah,
Oh,
when-
you're
if,
saying
like,
Do
if we-
everything,
entire,
everything.
okay,
Yeah,
Right,
we
right
combine
there,
it all
instead of walking
together.
to Middle Street and
thank you.
Palmer, like,
Thank you.
a football field length.
Anyone else want to make a recommendation, because we need to finalize the location?
I think honestly that'd probably be the best idea because
Right
like,
there.
we can centralize it all to one location and you can
Okay.
have the banner raising, the flag raising, all that stuff.
And they
but
also
this-
want to put flags down, the
At
1,000.
Whitney?
Yeah, right. I mean, so that would be great if
Yeah.
everything was done at the same
Yeah,
time.
Yeah,
if we can do it, like you said, less is more. If we can get max participation by doing it on Arcan Drive and get everything in that we want to get in,
Okay,
then that seems like the most reasonable way to do it.
Okay.
Is to have it all in one location
good job, Mr. O'Neill.
throughout the same, like in sequence. That way you have max participation, people come out with their families, and
Absolutely.
we're not really impeding anything because even if you block off
There's no
Arcan
store,
Drive from,
Well, I'll
one
find
side
out
to
from
the other,
the
it's-
city on what we aren't impeding, but
we're not
absolutely.
causing a tremendous traffic headache.
We'll look into it. So Arcan Drive, the College Stadium is out, or potentially Middlesex and Palmer. If the city comes back and says no to Arcan, I'll let you know if we have to stick with this. What else?
When you say
What else?
Arcan, you're saying JFK Plaza, so it's on.
Yes, that's on the sidewalk area. Okay, so here's where I will offer or ask. This Memorial Day activity cannot be planned at these meetings. You're saying that there's a potential conversation where there's no mandate to respond on email and there could be open meeting laws. So a subcommittee would have to be all of us. There's no one or two or three of us for this Memorial Day subcommittee. And to those who are listening at home, I know that at least one person has contacted me and would love to assist with Memorial Day activities. I will be reaching out to you. For anyone else, you do not need to be a veteran. For anyone that just wants to participate and assist us with planning Lowell, City of Lowell Memorial Day activities, reach out to Mr. LaMarche because right now he is our sole source of contacting our commission outside of contacting us personally, which we don't want to put out there just for OPSEC reasons. So we look forward to your participation, and please contact Mr. LaMarche. You can go on to the Lowell City website and find the Veterans Services Officer. But we need to have other meetings outside of a formal meeting just to do the planning of this. How do you feel about that?
Sure, as long as it works for time for everyone, I'm in.
right here.
I feel like those can actually honestly be done virtual,
Oh, Zoom. At night.
so that wherever you're at, you can be, just so that we can continue to have conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, so just stick after a little bit afterwards, we'll figure out time and place. Mr. LaMarche, as the Veteran Services Officer, what do you have for us?
I've just been busy doing our annual updates, biannual updates. Other than that, I'm just plugging along. Getting ready to start planning. My flags were just recently taken down. I'll need to replace, the old flags with new flags, remount them so they're ready for before Memorial Day. I'm always getting ready for the next thing.
Are there any new corner dedications coming up, or they still do that as often as they did?
It's not as often. The criteria was changed 18 years ago. There was a point where they used to do them 3 or 4 a weekend, dedicate the squares, but they were running out of squares. So the Greater Lowell Veterans Council got together, and they talked to the city council, and there was a new mandate. It's different rules and different criteria, so there's far and few between. I probably have done 6 or 7 in the 18 years.
What is this one?
The Veterans Memorial Square.
The last one I saw was my father's. Last one I went to. That was a
Street, yeah, they're just street corners set aside for veterans.
Five of them.
But, I mean, we don't have that many streets.
Oh, I have over 300 squares already dedicated.
How many more do you have?
Probably a couple hundred. I mean, there's a lot of space in the city.
Corners, really, they're corners.
Every city corner.
Do you have criteria or anything for this that you can provide to us?
I do.
Maybe we could do that maybe once or twice a year.
I mean, I think we should, we'll have a conversation.
You got to meet the eligibility.
He'll be dead.
Yeah, send us the information on what is required, what the eligibility, how you apply, all the information so that we can look it over and have a conversation about it and assist you in marketing it or getting members or what have you, but we just need to know, read for ourselves what it is.
I don't think we have any formal role from the city council on that.
I thought that was the VSO. Do we need a
approve
formal?
it.
They approve it. It's similar to the membership for here. Everything will come. Anything that has the name veteran on it will come.
In theory, it'd be great if it came to us for recommendation before the council addressed these things, but
Well, that's through the VSO. It comes to the VSO, then it comes to us, then it goes to the council? It can't go, how does it go?
It can go that way. I mean,
Well, then let's make it go that
It
way.
hasn't gone that way. I don't know if
Let's make it go that way.
I'm not. Do we need to go through the city council to make it go that way? And I don't know how the city works with.
It's your program, isn't it?
no, it's their program.
It's their.
It's the city's program? Who runs it?
City council and the manager technically.
They approve it. It's a lengthy. They fill out they get the application from me. Then I take it. I determine if the person's eligible. Then I call. There's another committee, a Memorial Square committee that comes in. They look over my recommendation. Then they make their recommendation, which then goes to the manager's office, which then goes to the law department, which then goes to engineering to make sure the space is available, which then goes to the city council for approval.
And we want to insert
then
ourselves in this?
Then it comes back to me.
I think there's enough room.
We want to,
insert
like, do we
ourselves
want
into
to
it.
insert ourselves in this then? I thought it was just your program.
No, this is a program that's been,
Okay, well, if you could still send us documentation on it, just so that we're aware, because we may be able to assist in, like, identifying humans.
sure.
I mean, some of us may be wonderful, eligible.
I thought we had to
No,
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
be among the living, right?
you can be among the living, you just can't, if you are alive, you can't have cats. That's one of the written rules there, but there's certain criteria as to which medals you have or how much community service you've had, and a combination of a few other. It's not easy.
All right, well, you'll send it to us. Anything in closing, Ms. White?
No.
Mr. O'Neill?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Harmon, Mr. Hall, Mr. LaMarche,
No.
Ms. Coles? No. So this concludes our meeting. We are concluding at 6:05 PM, but I still am going to ask everyone to stay afterwards